What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Be For Real the Podcast, Episode 3, Taste of the Present, Part 2. I know, you were not expecting that, but here we are. Oh, and can somebody say consistency? Let me hear you. All right. I am Destiny, your hostess with the mostest. And yeah, we back. We back to be for real about what's going on. Okay? I have had a whole lot of life going on. Episode 3 was supposed to be out. Can't even get y'all that, I'm not gonna put myself out there like that. However, it was supposed to be out. It was supposed to be out about a week ago. But about a week ago. No, I'm saved now, so let me stop. But no, it was supposed to be out about a week ago, and life just been lifing. Cause don't it life for you too? Okay, so don't be trying to get on me about the episode. Okay, but anyway, yeah, somebody say consistency. All right, let me get some snaps because episode 3 could have not happened. You heard me? Alright. But we're here. And yes, this episode, wait, not only are we here, but my matcha is here. So hey girl, my little drink. But no, episode 3, I named it Taste of the Present Part 2 because although the first part was an hour long, I did talk y'all's ear off. I did, and I'm sorry about that. But I'm about to do it again. That episode was an hour long. However, I did realize that I missed a lot of details. And I wanted to be for real about what really happened. Because we're going to keep it a buck here. And if we're going to do anything, we're going to do what? Be for real. All right? Okay, period. So, I think, where do I want to start? I don't know where I want to start. As of recent, life has definitely been busy for your girl. As some of you may have watched in previous episodes, I have a lot going on. I do a lot. I am a mother to a 5-year-old little girl named Dakota. I do ministry at my church. I am over our women's ministry and our business ministry. I have a business. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So I think that sometimes people think that that's like an easy life to live. Like, oh, I would love to do that, blah, blah, blah. It's easier to have a job, Bookie. It's easier to have a job. Why? Because everything's already laid out for you. Your tasks, your duties, your responsibilities are already laid out for you. The structure, the foundation of the business is already there. And you're just a component to, what they're building. Whereas being a full-time entrepreneur, you're literally building everything from scratch. And so it's tough, okay? It's rough out here. And if you don't know specifically what I do, I specialize in custom apparel. So anything branded, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, bags, you name it, I can do it. On top of that, I am a certified life coach. And so I don't necessarily do a whole lot of sessions right now because I'm very aware of my capacity. I'm very self-aware of what I can handle in this current season. So, I've taken a break from that. I did have a 5-week mentorship group that I was doing. I may run that back sometime during the summer or maybe in the fall. But yeah, just, stay tuned for that. I don't know. I gotta see what the Lord tell me to do. Anyway, I do a whole lot of things. And in addition to this podcast platform. So I think that, I've had a lot going on. And I try to balance everything out. A lot of people would like to say that there's no such thing as balance. I would beg to differ. I think balance just looks like you reevaluating your capacity and you evaluating what's significant for the season and what's not. That's what balance looks like. But you know, other people would beg to differ. Not my problem, okay? Not my problem. Anyway, yeah, so I do have a lot going on. I actually just got back from a trip. My core team for the women's ministry, and my first lady, my Pastor Patrice Meadows. We all went to Columbia, South Carolina, to go to the Permission Conference with Dr. Jackie Green, and it was fire in my Tiffany Montgomery voice. We had a time, we did, and it wasn't just a time because of the conference, it was a time because of the fellowship. We got an opportunity to really just spend a whole lot of time with each other, get to know each other on a different level. Granted, the people that I serve with on the core team, I picked them to serve with me. And not necessarily I picked them, but God picked them for me. And so we've been able to grow together. We've been able to cry together, pray together, do all the things, lead together, serve together. And this weekend we got an opportunity to get poured into together, receive impartation together. And so with our first lady. And so a lot of times, you know, people long to have those relationships with their first lady. They long to, you know, just know who she is a little bit deeper and gain a connection and a bond with her. And I think that this weekend afforded them the opportunity to do that. I already have like a relationship with my first lady, so of course it just makes the bond stronger. Time spent, and one of my love languages is time spent. Okay, honey, like I like to spend time with people. Okay, I like to be, you know, well, with my friends I like to spend time with y'all, but with my mans I like to be in his skin. I ain't got no man, but when it comes, just know I'm gonna be all up in his skin. Anyway. I play too much. Anyway, no, we had a really good time though. A really good time. The first night we were there, which was a Friday night, we drove because it's only like 3 hours. So the first night we were there, Jackie Green spoke, and she preached, and it was cool. It was really cool. Of course, their church, her and Travis Green's church, is called Forward City Church, and they have a worship team, a worship group, and they're pretty known, you know, in the Christian community. So they had worship before every single session that they had. That was good. I love to worship. But it was a lot. It was a lot. But I did have a good time. That following Saturday, they had Dr. Anita Phillips. Fire. Okay? Like, she's that woman. Okay? Like, she is very wise. Very poised. She has a spirit of, like, patience. Like, she exudes what patience is. Like, love her. After that, they had Cheryl Brady, Pastor Cheryl Brady. And if you don't know, I go to Embassy City Church, where my apostle is Apostle Brian Meadows. And, of course, his wife, like I'm talking about, is Pastor Patrice Meadows. And his covering is Bishop Joby Brady, and that's his wife. Pastor Cheryl Brady is his wife. And so that's kind of like, you know, my spiritual grandma. You know, the whole time we were there, I'm like, you know, grandma killed it. And they just laughing, but I'm like, that's like our grandma for real. But anyway, she did an amazing job. I think that when it comes to women's conferences, the speakers have to resonate with where the women currently are and where they have been, so that they can get them to where they're going. And I think that that conference did an amazing job, like all the way around. They did an amazing job speaking to the different phases or time periods of a woman's life. I think every woman in the room could have caught the blessing of God, whatever that may look like for her in that moment, or may have looked like for any woman in that moment. It could have been caught. Like, it was in the room. Like, the blessing was in the room. And so that evening, they had Tim Ross speak and preach, and he did a great job too. So overall, like, Ford City worship, they did an amazing job. Jackie Green, she killed. Her outfits, mighty God, the woman knows how to put it on, okay? She know how to put it on, and she got a strong voice to back up the bold look. So I'm with it. I was with it. I had a good time. There were obviously like a few things we were, evaluating and critiquing, because we are a women's ministry and we lead a women's ministry at our church. And we're also, planning a little conference, So, if you listen to this, you get a little sneak listen, sneak peek into the plan. But, yeah, I think it was a really good conference. I really enjoyed just being around other women, just basking in the presence of God amongst other women. It's a beautiful thing. They even, like, one of the highlights for me, well, I had a few highlights. Dr. Anita, when she, and there are clips on Dr. Jackie Green's page, so you can definitely go and take a look on, like, Instagram, or like TikTok maybe, but Dr. Anita Phillips, she talked about how kangaroos get pregnant and how they have two uteruses, and while they're pregnant with one baby, they have one baby in their pouch, and then there's also another baby that comes and goes to nurse. And so that's three babies that pretty much that they're nurturing, that they're caring for, that they're cultivating, that they're building, all the things. And it really resonated with me, because the women's ministry that God has gifted me to lead in this moment is a kangaroo, is a baby of my first lady, that she allowed to go free, because ultimately she's trusted us with the ministry. And so I kind of brought that up when we, just spoke a little life into her when we went to brunch the last day we were there. And that's one moment. That's one moment that actually really stuck with me. In addition to that, Travis Green got up on stage to pray for women who were experiencing issues within their marriage. And he felt a really strong burden to do that. And there were so many women in the room that you could tell were it was such a heaviness. You could tell that so many women were experiencing difficulty within their marriages, and it shifted the entire atmosphere. Like, Shel Brady had already caused like a significant heaviness to fall upon the room, but when he came up there and he actually specified what the heaviness or brought understanding to what that heaviness actually was, he was like, yeah, let's pray, because the Lord is literally telling me, let's pray for marriages that are struggling right now. And so there was a woman sitting next to me, a few seats down, but we had a couple of seats between us, empty seats. And she really was just, she had raised her hand, because he did tell all the women who were experiencing that to raise their hands. She raised her hand, and me and like 4 other women kind of like surrounded her. He was like, surround those women and pray with them. So I'm like, okay, baby, I'm single. I don't know what to pray. I don't have a clue. But if you open your mouth, the Lord will fill it. If you allow the Holy Spirit to lead, he will. And so I noticed that, like, the other women who were around us, they were not praying. Like, when I say they weren't praying, they were not even, like, speaking in tongues. So I was just like, oh, Lord, like, I really got to do, like, I got to be the one. I got to be the one. Okay. Okay, Lord. So I ended up praying with her. Cool. You know, Holy Spirit had his way. He did what he wanted to do in that moment. Great. I don't even know what I said, to be very honest. Normally when I pray, and this may not be a great thing, but it could be, and I'll tell you why I do it. But normally when I pray, I leave it up to God. Like, I leave anything that I pray right there on the altar. Like, I don't even revisit it. Like, there are certain things that are burdens to me that I will, you know, ask God for and come back to him for. But as far as, like, exactly what I pray, like, word for word, I literally leave that with God. And I do that because it helps me to trust God more. So I don't necessarily, and I know, like, the Bible says to pray without ceasing and all the things, but you know, and to continuously, you know, keep asking and, you know, keep knocking and the door should be open and all this stuff. I get that. But I know that I've had issues with trust in the past. So to help me build trust with the Father, I make sure that any requests and any petitions that I have, I leave them with him because I know that he's sovereign enough to answer, to listen, to hear me out, to work it out, and I don't have to beat him down just for it to be answered, just for it to be heard, just for it to be, you know, whatever. So that's why I do that. But anyway, I left the prayer there, and we were leaving. Like, the night ended up ending like maybe like 20 minutes after that, 20-30 minutes after that, and she literally walked up to me and she said, "What's your name?" I said, "Destiny." She said, "Okay, I just wanted to let you know, I just wanted to let you know that everything that you prayed, I have prayed for my marriage." She was like, "I don't know how you did that. I don't know. Like, she literally was just baffled. She was like, "Every single thing that you pray out of your mouth, I pray for my marriage. And I just wanted to thank you because I have been praying for my marriage." And I'm just like, okay. Well, I told her, I said, "Well, I don't know. Glory be to God. I have not a clue." So it wasn't me. It was him. I don't know. But I told her, I said, "Baby, I'm not even married." So I don't even know. But I'm sharing this to say that obviously, like, the Holy Spirit will fill your mouth. But two, if you ask the Lord for wisdom, that's what his word says. If you ask him for wisdom, he will give it to you. And wisdom is something that I ask the Lord for often, okay? And so I think that in that moment, the Lord just gave me wisdom to pray for her. I did not know, you know, I don't know what marriage, you know, entails. I don't know what her marriage was even about. I didn't even know her from a can of paint, like, literally. So, you know, if you ask for wisdom, the Lord will give it to you. He will fill you. So, yeah, that's that. That was like a highlight for me because it was just so beautiful to see. And she was an older woman. She had to be in her mid-50s, maybe 60s. And so, yeah, I was blessed by God. Like, I really was really blessed by the Lord from that conference. And I'm praying that we can go next year because I know they're going to have Jackie Hill Perry and they're going to have Nona Jones. And so I'm trying to be in the building, okay? I looked at my first lady. I said, "Get the tickets." Get the tickets, boo. But nah, we had a great time. Aside from that, or before, you know, this weekend, I did have, you know, a couple of assignments that I had to do for I don't necessarily want to say work, but for my business, I had an assignment for Tiffany Montgomery because she just had Covered by God here in Atlanta last Thursday. And so I had an order from her, and then I also had the opportunity. I literally was about to say opportunity and privilege in the same. I don't even know how that even happened, but I had the opportunity and privilege to do an order for Walmart. Like, what? Walmart? So your girl, and the way that happened is nothing but God. So I have a friend, her name is Hamaria. She goes to my church, and she's literally like a big sister to me. So I know that she only wants to see the best out of me. Like anytime she's trying to rebuke me, okay, honey, she just wants to see the best. And she sat with me one day, and she gave me a strategy, and I used the strategy. It was something so simple, but sometimes the simplest things, we just may need someone to give us a little nudge. And so with the simplest things, we just may need someone to give us a little nudge. And so she gave me that little nudge that I needed to be encouraged, because I know I got to a certain point in my business where I really started to get discouraged, and I started to tell the Lord that I was losing hope. And hope deferred makes the heart sick. And baby, I just had the flu in February. Me and my baby, we had the flu. So I've really been kind of going through it as it pertains to just allowing God to be Jireh. You know what I'm saying? Allowing him to really be the God of provision, and not worrying. And one thing that I've always kind of prided myself on is not necessarily stressing or worrying about like bills or just finances and stuff like that, because I've seen my parents do that. I saw adults do that when I was younger, and so I never wanted to be that adult that that was so caught up in my what I thought was my natural ability to gain money, to gain finances, or whatever, to gain wealth. I never wanted to be in that space. I would much rather depend on God for everything. And to the simple-minded, to the person who's not committed to a faith, or to the faith, because there's nothing other than, to a person that that doesn't know the true and living God, it's gonna sound crazy. You know what I'm saying? To truly put your all into, okay, I'm gonna let the Lord lead. And it's not to say that, obviously we all know faith without works is dead. Yes, I know. Baby, I'm always doing something. So that don't apply here. But no, I really, really, really pride myself on allowing God to be God. And that's just what it is. Like, I don't try to overstep the boundary with God. Because the second that I do, that's the second that I fall. And so I don't want to make it seem like I'm more powerful than God, because he's sovereign. I could never be. And so I try my best to not worry about like money and bills and all the things. Now, don't get me wrong, that does not negate having a decent level of stewardship. No. That's not what that does. There should still be some type of level of stewardship that you have over the things that God gives to you, because ultimately that's you operating in wisdom. So yeah, I don't really get into all of but I've been getting into all of and that's why I started to lose hope. That's why my body was sick. That's why I felt like I didn't have the capacity for certain things because I was doing everything or trying to do everything in my own strength, in my own knowledge, and I don't have it. I simply don't have it. Not by power, not by might, but by his spirit. Like, that's it. That's it. By his spirit, am I able to do anything in my business? Am I able to do anything in life? Am I able to do ministry? Am I able to do motherhood? Am I able to do anything? It's only by his spirit. And so, I think that I lost my point, child. I done lost my point. But let me just, let's go back. I just think that I have experienced a lot of trial and tribulation because the Lord really wants me to trust him. And there are many things that I do to exercise my trust, my faith, and my hope in the Lord. Like I said, one of them being leaving my prayers with him. Once I send it up, ain't no continuous here. No, I literally let the Lord be who he is, be exactly who he say he is. If he says he's my provider, I'm gonna let him be that. If he says that he's my creator, I'm gonna let him be that. If he says that he's the God who sees me, I'm gonna let him be that. And I'm gonna let him, he's not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. I'm gonna let him speak the truth because he is the truth. I'm gonna let him be the truth in my life. And I'm gonna exercise trust in the truth. That's what I'm gonna do. And so I don't necessarily, I don't worry about certain things. I don't fret. I don't get anxious. I don't it's just pointless. But recently I have. And what has helped me through those moments? Praying, fasting, worshiping. Worship. Worship activates so much. I think I've talked about this before, but it will activate prayer. It will activate strategy. It will activate it will even activate tears. Like, it will literally have you in here bawling before the Lord. It will activate a new level of humility. It will activate a new level of transparency and nakedness before the Father. It literally will do that. And I think that without worship, without me being able to be vulnerable before my Father, I would not be able to make it through some of the hardest days that I've had, recently. I wouldn't be able to make it through. I would not. And so I'm grateful that I can bask in the Lord's presence. I'm grateful that I'm even allowed into his presence. I'm grateful that he even sees me worthy of being in his presence. And so, I love it here. But not only did, worship help me, but I think that more practically speaking, I think that me having friends who are pursuing purpose, are pursuing the same things that I'm pursuing, it's very helpful when you're experiencing downfalls and trials and tribulations and spiritual warfare. It's very helpful to have people who understand the walk in your life. And it's also very helpful to have people in your life who understand the significance of the call on your life. Because if they don't even understand the detriment of which you're being chosen, if they don't understand the degree, the depth of which your call is, baby, they will not be able to cover you. They will not be able to impart into you. They will not be able to just be of support to you. So it takes having people in your corner that can intercede on your behalf, that can not only just pray, but they can also be a resource. I've had friends who have helped me, who have sown into my life because they've seen, oh, I know you need help. Like, I know you want full-time entrepreneurship. Here you go. Don't worry about giving it back. What? No. This is, And if you know anything about single moms, which I am one, then you know it's hard for us to take stuff in the first place. Because we're doing everything. We do everything. Okay? We doing everything. So it's hard for us to take from other people. Could that be pride? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay? Yes, that's pride. Absolutely. But it's also fear of letdown. Fear of letdown. Fear of being let down. Because oftentimes people will say, make empty promises. Simply put, people will make empty promises, say they will do certain things, and they won't do it. And before any of y'all think I'm talking about my child's father, my baby daddy, I'm not. Even though he's had his days too. We're gonna be for real here. He's had his days too. But yeah, I just think that it's very hard for single moms to take from people, to accept certain things. But one thing that my mentor, Lakeisha Dixon, I can't even talk. Lakeisha Dixon Jones, she always tells me, you know, you can't stop the blessing of somebody else just because you're prideful. So you better take this seed. And I'll be like, okay, my bad. You know, my bad. You got it. And I don't want to stop the hand of the Lord on your life. I don't want to do that. I do not want to be the hindrance. So yeah, I'm gonna take the seed, boo. I'm gonna take it. But no, yeah, you gotta have friends who know how to pray and they know how to sow. Period. And they also know how to discern. Discern when you need space. Discern when you need assistance or resources. And they can discern when you just simply need a hug. When you just need somebody to be there. And I think my friends do an amazing job with that. Like, my friends do an amazing job with that. So shout out to my grubs. Shout out to my grubs. Let me call a few out. Lachey, Danny, Adrian, Christine, Christy, Brittany, period. They're my grubs, my grubs. Who else? Ashley. I got a lot of Ashleys though. Ashley Danielle, Hunter, Ashley Brown. Ooh, I got a lot of Ashleys. Ashley Gary, that's my girl now. Jazz Gates, that's my girl. Who else? I got a lot of friends, y'all. Syria, that's my grub. Yeah. I got a lot of my grubs. I got some guy friends too, but you know, you can't really say too much about men, especially with Christian women, because they think you in relationship with them. So I won't say nothing about my guy friends. However, yeah, they're my grubs, and I love them. Tierra, Raven, baby, I could keep going. I could go on and on and on and on and on. Okay, and let's not forget my number one girl, my number two of my, top two girls, my mama and my sister Amber. Okay, period. But yeah, I mean, I got a lot of people that I know for sure got my back. Shoot, Marissa. I got so many people. I got a lot of people that got my back. I got a lot of people that love me for real. My mentor, I just named her, Lakeisha Dixon Jones. I really do. I really do. I thank the Lord that I have community to back me. Because if I didn't, I probably would not be living right now. Um, and I'll probably get into that a little later as to like why and why not and all the things. But you need community when you are going through different things. You need community in your life. But yeah, that's, I don't know how we got here, but we're here, so we're gonna be for real about it. But no, so just traveling back in time a little further. Last year I started the year off in 2023 weighing like 165. My goal by my birthday, which my birthday is on May 28th, whoop whoop, so it's in about 26 days, 25 days, and I made a goal that by my birthday I would be 140 pounds. That's 20 pounds, y'all. 25 actually. By my birthday I was about 145. So I had lost 20 pounds. I did. And a lot of people have, complimented me on my weight, and they're just like, oh my gosh, you've gotten so small, like da da da. And it's like, thanks, thanks. But I ended up losing even more weight because of like stress and all the things, because of all the things I just talked about. Me losing hope, stress, worry, things like that had caused me to lose a little bit more weight, and I got all the way down to 130. And but prior to that happening, I got down to 145, and the way that I did it, I was not in the gym every single day. I will say that. I was not in the gym every single day. I do want to inform y'all that I've always been an athlete. I've been an athlete all my life. I played college sports. If you listen to the previous episodes, you would know that I played college softball, and yeah, so I've always pretty much worked out. For my 14th birthday, I got a gym membership. So wow, I got a gym membership for my 14th birthday. That is crazy, okay? That's wild. Anyway, yeah, so I've always worked out anyway, and I've always kind of, for the most part, I've always been healthy. But I would work out maybe like 2 to 3 times a week. I would have a leg day and an upper body day, or sorry, a lower body day, upper body day. And I would also, and I know, the people don't like this, but I used to drink kombucha every single morning. I know it's like a thing going around on social media, about like, how do you say kombucha? How do you say kombucha? Y'all, stop being dumb. Stop being stupid. It's kombucha. Read the word right. Kombucha. And go drink it so your stomach can get flatter. So you can have good gut health. Okay? Anyway. I have been drinking kombucha. I don't drink it regularly now, but I did then because my stomach, I just noticed that it was always like bloated. I had extra fat, obviously, from like having my baby and stuff like that. Even though, we 5 years out, the baby fat be fatting, okay? So don't do me. But yeah, so I would drink kombucha every morning, 1 kombucha, and every morning you're supposed to have a bowel movement anyway. And so to assist with that bowel movement and in cleansing your body, you can drink a kombucha right before you go to the restroom, and it will, help clean you out or whatever. And that really did help my stomach get flatter. Even though I wasn't in the gym every day, and I did core after every workout I did. But regardless if it was an upper body or lower body day, I still ended the workout with core every time. But I was drinking kombucha every morning, and I was also drinking, don't judge me for this, y'all. Do not judge me for this. I was drinking Celsius. Yeah, I was. Baby, I was drinking like 2 a day. And the people be like, it's cracking that drink. Listen, if it was cracking that drink, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you what made me stop. 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks after I turned 30, 3 weeks after I turned 30, on May 28th, I turned 30 on June 18th, actually on Father's Day. I was at church and I lost vision in my left eye. I don't know. Like I said, I've always been healthy. I ain't had no issues. I had complications when I gave birth, but they weren't like outlandish. So, I lost vision in my left eye during worship. And I'm just like, what is going on? What the heck is going on? I can't see. Like, I couldn't see anything on the entire left side of my body. And so I turned to my friend Lachey and I'm like, I can't see out my left eye. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, literally, like, and if you've been at our church, you know, like, worship be hype. Every Sunday it's a concert, okay? It was so loud in there. And I'm just like yelling. I'm like, hey, I can't see. I'm like really scared right now. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I blacked out in my left eye. And so she's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna drop to the CVS and see if I can get you some eye drops. I'm like, baby, I don't know what that's gonna do, but you know, whatever. I've never been here before. Let's do whatever we think is gonna work. So she goes to the store, she gets the eye drop. I leave out of the sanctuary and I go and get a bottle of water. I go into our fellowship hall, I rest my eyes, and I'm just like, Lord, what is going on? Help me to understand what's going on. So I start to feel a tingling like sensation or feeling in my arm. And so at this point, I'm just like, okay, what the heck is going on? At this point, like, it's people coming in like, oh, what's wrong with you? You know, because nobody ever sees me down. Like, people don't see me. I'm not crying. I'm not, upset. I'm just not that person. Like, I'm always like upbeat. Like, I'm cool. Like, I'm, whatever. And so, there was a lady who was going to our church. Her name was Whitney. She was going to our church. She was a nurse. And I told her what happened, and she was like, you need to get to the emergency room immediately. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. So she's like, you need to go. Somebody needs to take you as soon as possible. I said, why? I'm like, what's the point? And she's like, these are stroke symptoms. Like, you're 30. You are a baby. Like, you should not be having stroke symptoms. And so I'm just like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, in my mind, this is what I'm thinking. Like, are you serious? And then, but out my mouth, I try to be such a tough cookie, which everybody who know me, who's like very, very close to me, they know, like, girl, please, you ain't no, suck it up, stop it, you're a crybaby. But no, I always have like this hard exterior. And I'm just like, yeah, nah, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm about to go home and take a nap. Like, it'll be cool. Like, I'm going to be straight. She literally was like, yeah, that's not going to work. Go get your mom. Go get your sister. We're going to go get them so that they can take you to the hospital. So, a little backstory. My mom's dad passed away from a stroke when I was 6, the day before I turned 6. So, his death, his 25th death anniversary, I guess that's what you want to call it, is coming up on May 27th of this month. He had a stroke the day before I turned 6 in 1999, and when all of this happened, I didn't necessarily think about how it would impact my mom or her thought process of, like, what could be going on, because ultimately she probably could have thought I was gonna die that day. And so I didn't think I was gonna die. I just thought I was gonna be blind. And I know, like, that's not funny, but that's what I thought. Like, I literally was like, wow, am I literally gonna be blind at 30? Like, I just turned 30. Is this what the Lord has for me? Like, woo, Jesus. I didn't know. I don't know. But I ended up going to the hospital. I was there all day on Father's Day. My mom came, my sister came, my brother, my friends, Dakota's dad. They all came, and my mom ended up staying at the hospital with me, and they were trying to keep me overnight. I went through all of these like CAT scans and when I say all the things, they drew blood, and my arm was literally hurting for months because they drew blood the wrong way. And I'm like, what's going on with my arm? But yeah, I was there all day. They did all the tests, ran all the tests, drew all the blood, and they could find nothing. Nothing. So they ended up releasing me. They didn't know where it came from, what happened, why. Even still to this day, never got like any type of, like, I looked at all of my charts, everything was normal. So yeah, I don't know. It could have been spiritual warfare. It could have been Celsius. Who knows? In my opinion, I've sought the Lord on it. I've gotten answers. I'm still like, you sure, Lord? But yeah, but I'm not gonna get into that because that would be a little bit too personal. However, I know this is be for real. I know we supposed to keep it a buck, and I'm keeping it a buck and let you know it's too personal. But no, I do think it was spiritual warfare. I do. For a plethora of reasons. And yeah, after that happened, I had literally the week before, I had just quit my full-time job. Yeah. So to become a full-time entrepreneur. So I quit my job in design engineering to be a full-time entrepreneur. And then that happened the following weekend, the following Sunday. And so, you know, when the enemy can sniff out, because he a dog, a dusty dog, okay? When he can sniff out that you are pursuing greater heights, when you are, even though sometimes the pursuit takes you going low, then going high, we know that, but he don't really know that. And he don't really understand the process of elevation, because elevation, it takes you starting at the bottom and going up. And so when he sees that you're willing to make the sacrifice to pursue elevation, he don't like that. Because ultimately, he wants you to be in a space of complacency. He wants you to be in a space of comfort. Which is also why most of the time when we sin, there's always this, oh, well, I'll be all right. Oh, well, and it's not to say that, like I said, it's not to say that the Lord's blood doesn't cover the multitude, because it does. But oftentimes, the enemy will comfort you when you sin. He will give you a space that's conducive for your sin. That is a space that is that'll make you not want to leave. That's convincing. And I think he tried to convince me that the space of design engineering was for me, and it wasn't. And I think I said this, I know I said it in the last episode or whatever, just explaining, I pay attention to patterns. So I realized that there was a pattern on every position that I had as a design engineer for me to impart or encourage in a man on the position. And so once I realized I had done that, and I realized it was a pattern, like it was something, it was actually an assignment that I had on each of these positions, I realized, oh, my time is up here. And so when I realized that my time was up in the position that I was in, the enemy, he wanted to scare me. He wanted to instill fear in my heart so that I could be convinced to stay in a place of complacency instead of me being convinced that I could have the boldness, confidence, and authority to move into full-time entrepreneurship in a healthy way. And I don't just mean physically, but I mean all the way around. In my relationships, in my friendships, in my motherhood, in a healthy manner, in an all around healthy manner. So it's deeper than that, and like I said, I'm gonna be for real about it being personal. Okay, I'm gonna be for real about that being my business. Okay. But I'm so glad that the Lord is on my side. He's on my side, okay? I'm on the winning team. I'm on the winning team. So, you can't convince me. You cannot convince me of something that I'm not called to. The enemy cannot convince me of something that I am not called to. And something that I'm not chosen for. I may have been chosen for the space for a moment, but baby, you cannot convince me to be complacent. You cannot. And so I think that he really tried it when that happened. He tried it when I was in the hospital. And I think people also, even he tried it with people. I had some people say, like, you know, we don't want you in the hospital for dehydration. And it's like, I wasn't in the hospital for dehydration. I'm pretty healthy, actually. I drink a lot of water. Like, I wasn't in the hospital for that. I was in the hospital because it was a spiritual attack. That's why I was in the hospital. It was an attack to convince me to stay in a space that I didn't need to be in. And it was also an attack to instill fear into my mother, into my family. So, and amongst other things as well. But I knew that specific instance of me going to the hospital because I was having stroke symptoms at the age of 30, and I had just turned 30, I knew that there was something powerful that was meant to happen in my life from that one moment. And that the enemy was trying to keep me from having access to that powerful thing. But yeah, a lot of things happened from that point. I did lose 20 pounds before that. But after that, I did experience a lot of life. And I lost even more weight. And it wasn't in a healthy way. It was due to, like I said, stress, worry, and just loss of hope. And I think that now I'm in a much better space. I have just been able to spend more time with God. I've been able to understand certain things. Now, granted, we won't understand everything. We're not meant to understand everything. Because otherwise, if the Lord gave us the full blueprint of everything that we were meant to overcome and accomplish, will we actually do it? Will we actually need him to do it? Will we actually need him to work out certain things? Will we need to seek his face? Will we need to spend time with him? Will we need to... It's a lot of questions. So I got a lot of questions. Would we need to do all of these things if he actually gave us everything? No. No. First of all, we wouldn't even know how to really get there, but we also would not acquire the appreciation, the gratitude that comes with the process. And so I'm grateful that the Lord is allowing me to be processed in the time frame and in the on the pace that he's allowing me to, because I would not appreciate his presence the way that I do. If he gave me the full blueprint, I wouldn't appreciate the presence of the Lord. If he didn't give me the full blueprint, I would not appreciate his word like I do. If he gave me the full blueprint, I would not be able to give him what he's due, because I would think it was me. That's what humans do. We always take credit for somebody else's stuff. Just a mess, a hot stinking mess. We are always taking credit for something we didn't do. That's the flesh in us. So if God gave you the full plan, would you even give him credit? No. So why would he give you? And yes, he needs you to give him credit. And credit counts as testimony, as you being a testament of his goodness, glory, and sovereignty. So no, I'm not going to give you the whole plan. Yes, I'm grateful to God that I'm being processed on the pace that he wants me to be processed, and not the pace that I want to. Yes, I would rather now, where I am right now, I would, and I know people always say that it's a dangerous prayer to pray. Not my will, but thine will be done. Please. Because I don't know. We don't have the answers. As much as we like to act like we got the answers, as much as we like to act like we so articulate and eloquent and intelligent and intellectual and all of these things, we're not. We're not. We're not. We could never be if he was not. So if we never seek the great I am, then we will never be. So I'm straight. The space that I'm in right now, I'm straight. Like, I'm grateful to God that I'm being processed. I'm grateful to God that I can learn along this process. I'm grateful to God that he is my greatest asset in this life. He is my greatest asset. And I literally could not ever do this alone. But I'm grateful that the process is teaching me how to do it with God and how to do it for God. Yeah. So that's life lately. That's a taste of the present. Ministry, business, motherhood is cool. I always speak about that very little, because it's a very sacred space for me. Motherhood is a sacred space for me. And it looks cute on Instagram and all the things. But it's truly, it's battleground. Motherhood is battleground. It's the best hood to be in, but it's battleground for sure. Because I am preparing legacy. And now I'm about to cry. Now I'm about to cry. This is a sensitive space. Yeah. It's a sensitive space for sure. Because I'm raising a whole human. And I'm not just raising her according to my own standard. I'm raising her according to God's. And that's a whole task in itself. I know Mother's Day is coming up, and all the people want to celebrate the moms and such, but motherhood is so sweet to me. Because I get to reflect on how I was raised, and I get to evaluate how I would like to raise my daughter. And going through so much at one time, sometimes I feel like I neglect her. Doing everything, doing a lot at one time. Sometimes I feel like I neglect her. However, I try my very, very, very best to show up for her and to be there, to let her know I love her, to let her know how beautiful she is, to let her know how smart she is. Don't get me wrong now. I'm a tough cookie when it comes to my baby, because I don't want her being like the rest of these other little kids, okay? Okay? I don't want her conforming. I don't want her falling victim to what they said, but I want her to be the victor of what God says. I want her to be a clear depiction and display of the victory of God and what that looks like. And that's what I want for my legacy. I don't just want that for my daughter, but any other children that pass through my womb, I want that for. And so a lot of people tell me like I'm really hard on her. And she's only 5. She is only 5. She'll be 6 in 2 months. But I'm hard on her now because I did realize that my parents were hard on me at her age. And I like to think that I came out all right. But yeah, she graduates kindergarten on May 20th. Yes, I will be a wreck. So don't call my phone. But no, motherhood is good. It's good. She's helped me through some of my worst days. The Lord truly shows himself to be true, living, and real through her being. He affirms me through my child. She has wiped my tears on some of the worst days I've ever had. And I love it here. I love it here. So, I did not expect to cry. I didn't expect to cry. But, here we are. This has been a taste of the present. We talked about ministry, motherhood, business, all the things. And I think maybe next episode we'll talk about friendship. I don't know. But I do want to remind y'all that if you gonna be anything, be for real. Bye.